We're back. The dust is cleared. It's settled. We did actually go for that break if you missed it. Now we are here for our finals for the FASA play versus spring matchup between these two teams, the Blue Seahawks and PBL Retro Rams. Now we get to see how these two teams do on the field. Best of 7. It's going to be a great one here, Cup.
Here we go. Nice kickoff there. Not straight at the goal like we see from time to time. It's like we're a solid, I was just going to say we're a solid 15 seconds without a goal.
Oh, man. But the Blue Seahawks, the ones to score first. TRZO. Interesting that they were able to get a box around their name. I haven't seen that before. But nonetheless, they are able to get the first one on the board. As you can see, we have our lovely overlay up here with the Retro Rams versus the Blue Seahawks. I just love the animals that people choose for their specific schools to represent. There's like a bunch of rams, there's different birds, there's like lions. Sometimes it's a gladiator. It's like, that's not an animal.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes it's a tree.
Yep.
Wow, immediately answered by the Rams.
This just goes to show exactly how close the competition is going to be between these two teams, where they are going all out with it. Being the finals, they had to battle through a bunch of best of 5s to get to this best of 7 against each other. I don't believe there is a bracket reset. It is just a single best of 7 to determine who comes out on top. And that demo could have been huge for the Retro Rams if it led to a goal afterwards.
Here's a nice center and kicked away by the Seahawks. Nice clearance.
Oh, might be another one there from Murdercaps, but not going to be enough for them to push that forward. I'm also noticing car-wise, we are witnessing a Merc on the field, which looks like a van, basically. If you haven't seen Rocket League before, that is what that is. It's kind of a meme vehicle, but, you know, there is some respect for players who use the Merc. It's got a bigger hitbox than a lot of the other ones, and it is harder to get the fine points when you are air dribbling like we just saw there from Dark.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Merc in any of our previous tournaments, and I did not see that on the tier list that I was reviewing earlier either.
It's definitely not one of the main ones. It's kind of a rare occurrence here for Murdercaps, but nice to see that there is some Merc representation on the field every once in a while, especially in this game 1. I'm interested to see if they stay on the Merc throughout the series, because maybe they're just feeling murky today. Maybe, you know, as you can see that other car we saw before this, the Fennec is one of the more popular ones that are out there, and we'll try and get that latency fixed for you all, but nonetheless, still great to see how close these two teams have been so far.
Yeah, nice. It seems like they're very evenly matched. You can tell that they both have earned their spot in the finals here, and I just wish that Merc had an A-team skin on it.
That'd be beautiful. Need more of those kind of skins in the game, but still nice to see that there is one of those cool decals that are on it. And the greatest thing about this game outside of the competition is how much you could customize your vehicles. There's a bajillion different ways, different colors, different wheels, and boosts and everything else that you can use as well, but still great to see how well these two teams are against each other. I mean, we talked about it going into this. In some games, they're right out from the gate, you see all the shots in the world, all the goals in the world, but then it slows down to a pace of everyone's playing defense and not wanting to give up an opportunity to their opponents. So the Seahawks and the Retro Rams doing the best that they can. I think we're fixed.
Yeah, it's a very strong midfield game right now. With the both teams are poking and prodding a little bit, but field control seems pretty evenly matched.
That's so crucial, too, to make sure that you can lock down that midfield line, make it difficult for your opponents to have full control of the field, especially on your half. Now we're seeing the Retro Rams turn things up to 11 for a second, but even then it wasn't enough for them to get a goal just yet. And a counterattack the other way. Dark looking for something. Trix Coley looking for another counterattack, too. And it's just back and forth between these two teams, Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, wow, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to watch. And there goes Sly to put the Seahawks up by 2-1 with 1:13 left to go. What a beautiful... Did he just pass it to himself? I looked up at the scoreboard, and it looked like he passed it to himself.
That he did. He got the counter attack going and then followed it through with a flourish. Was able to get the lead back for the Seahawks. And there we go, an even stronger lead too for Sly yet again. 3-1 now on the board. Really quick after the kickoff from that one.
Wow. Yeah, just had a really nice bounce off of his teammate there on the kickoff. Was able to follow through. Well done. Let's see how the Rams answer here.
That is the biggest question. Will we see answer from the Retro Rams? Because it was pretty stalwart on both ends for the majority of this game since that first opening minute where we had the tying goal from the Retro Rams. But apart from that, Sly carried the team on their back to move forward and get those 2 back-to-back goals, which might be all the Blue Seahawks need. So it's been a struggle for the Retro Rams to break out their side here, Cup.
Yeah, pretty high pressure here from the Seahawks. Ball control since the last goal has been pretty much all of them. Putting the pressure on the Rams.
Less than 30 seconds to go as well. Time ticking down for the Retro Rams. We're desperate to get at least another one on the board to bring it within one, have one final shot at tying things up in these last few moments, but less than 15 to go. It is on the other side of the pitch, but not in their possession for long enough, and less than 10 seconds, Cup. This one's all but over.
That is it. Could have brought it within one there, but Dark was standing in the goal. Ooh, making sure they didn't do it. Oh, look at this.
Okay. The thing with Rocket League 2 is if the ball's up with 0 seconds on the clock, it doesn't end the game until it hits the ground there. No, so close. We got to see, almost got to see some Merc magic, but we didn't at the end there. Instead, it was the Blue Seahawks taking game number 1. Still need 3 more where that came from for them to come out on top, but a good showing from both sides. It was really Sly popping off at the last half of the game there, Cup.
Yeah, that was great to watch. That was a great first game. There's a lot of action, a lot of ball control in the middle, counterattacks. That was an impressive performance.
It's what you like to see when it comes to a finals for any of these play versus competitions. But now the Merc is still back in the court of the Retro Rams. They're going to keep up with their cars. I know some players like a placebo where they change out their decal every single game, but we haven't seen that here, so they don't need to rely on any placebos to play well when it's the finals, and that makes sense. They just need to get that first goal for the Retro Rams to get the lead back in their favor.
Yeah, I actually, something I do is I don't change my socks ever, just for for superstition and luck. It works. I can
socks all the time. Or do you have like multiple of the same pair of socks, or just one pair of socks?
No, it's just one. It's just the one.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Just your lucky socks.
That's it.
Oh man, I'm sure there's some like other different kind of lucky apparel that people have whenever they're playing like the game. Like maybe it's just a position that they're sitting in whenever they're playing. But that is a great position on offense. Meliodas King, who was almost the king of offense for the Retro Rams, to get that first goal. But there is a bunch up on the defensive end. It is going to almost cost them one. How did they get that save, Cup?
Ah, that looked like their whole car minus a tire was in the goal to get that save.
Insane to see from TRZ0 there on the Blue Seahawks. They got the first goal in game number 1, but defense seems to be key for the Blue Seahawks in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got the Merc is putting the pressure on.
The Caps looking for something, and they were able to at least assist that last goal that we saw from the Retro Rams in game number 1, but still not exactly what they have been hoping for on offense. This is the most offense we have also seen from the Retro Rams so far this series, Cup.
Yeah, and they're really showing a lot of patience and control right now as well, which is great coming out of a first round loss like that. You know, it's hard to not get in your own head sometimes after a loss like that, and they seem to be doing a great job of controlling both the ball and their emotions.
That's so crucial when it comes to a final series. Depending on how different competitions go, you might have multiple matches leading up to this one, and Eventually, it all comes down to this final best of 7 like we are seeing today. But no, it's going the other direction, and that's just a mistake on the rotation, but also a great capitalization by the Blue Seahawks.
How many Ks? How many Ks are in the name?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lost count already.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many. Oh, man. The Blue Seahawks up by 1, right at the halfway point, too, for Dark getting that goal that could have been prevented, but somehow had the foresight to just put a shot on, and eventually it might go through. And that just goes to show that even with these close back-and-forth games, Cup, that there is still an opportunity for just a simple mistake to cost you a game.
Yeah, just needs a millimeter. That's all you need.
I guess a couple pixels in this case. Instead of a couple of robots, just a couple pixels.
It's a versatile cup.
Yeah, exactly. It can hold many things, and maybe a win if the Blue Seahawks can continue their scoring fervor that we have seen so far today in Game 1 and 2. But 1-0 after such a close, majority of a close game in Game number 1 until the last minute with the 2 back-to-back from Sly. The Retro Rams, they've had all the offense in their favor. What's been stopping them from getting their first goal in this second game here, Cup?
I mean, Dark, really.
Yeah.
He's been sitting in goal, doing a great job of anticipating the ball's trajectory and just knocking it out at just the right time. And some of them have been so close, it would look like I want to see the replay.
Especially that earlier one, too. I think it was from TRZ0, who was able to just somehow save it from like 90% into the net already. And scoop it away. But less than a minute to go now for the Retro Rams, who are facing down potential being down by 2 games in this best of 7 already. Or it could be a 4-0 sweep if things continue with the pace that has been set by the Blue Seahawks. But even then, that doesn't denote how close this series has been so far, Cup.
Yeah, it's kind of a stalemate situation here, almost right in the midfield. Great job by the Rams to keep the pressure on and not let in another goal. Let's see what happens when I start to say it, and then the ball just starts coming his way.
Oh, that would have been crucial, though, for the Retro Rams to tie things up there. But the way the offense has shifted in the favor of the Blue Seahawks, they knew that they had to put the pedal to the metal and make it difficult for the Retro Rams to maybe pull off a comeback in the last second. And speaking of the last second, it's ticked down and hits the ground, and the Blue Seahawks now up by 2. Only need 2 more to pull off their championship win here, Cup.
That's it's not for a lack of trying on the Ram side, that's for sure. What is the longest you've seen the timer read 0?
Oh man, I think it's gone on for like 2 minutes at one point. Like somehow they were keeping it up, which is just the most insane thing to me. It's probably an exaggeration. A minute is usually like the cap that you see for that, but it's crazy to see how long people can keep it up at 0 seconds. But usually when it's up for that long, there isn't a goal that results at the end of it. It's so unfortunate when it's like, oh, they've been keeping it up for so long, but no.
Yeah,
there's also players that try to like dribble it on the roof of their car at 0 seconds and just like mess around at the end of series, but that's just neither here nor there, as both these teams are serious business trying to get this victory.
I imagine that we'll see the Rams get on the board here. I don't foresee a shutout here, and that's just me pulling it out of my trunk.
Oh! Every time you talk about either a goal or a shutout, we almost see one happen on either side somehow.
I should just keep saying the word goal. And see? Oh!
That's the way Rocket League works sometimes. When you mention a goal being scored, typically there is one to follow those words. And as we see here, that is what happened for Sly. They got both the ending goals for the Blue Seahawks in game number 1. Now we see it happen again in game number 3 for the first goal in the first 40 seconds.
I'm going for MVP status for sure.
Ooh. Retro Rams. Oh, man, I should have said goal, and then it would have happened. Right off the crossbar, though. The defense
And there's Dark
so
again.
close. Oh, so many good looks on offense, too. And you mentioned Dark, so crucial for them again on defense. Both defenders went for it. Dark just there, cool, calm, and collected every time. And it's always important to have that third man on the rotation that you can trust in net.
Yeah, and he's definitely the one for the Seahawks. Do you think it's the length of his name that's blocking the ball?
Yeah, he just puts his name across the goal, and then it's like, oh, I don't know where to shoot because the name's just so long on the screen. It's kind of blocking the vision.
Good job from the Rams there to break up that chance. Some nice air dribbling happening right towards the goal.
Oh, that would have been insane if TRZ0 was able to get that one on through. Had a crazy angle, just couldn't cut it the shave close enough, and Murdercaps trying to see what they can do on offense for the Retro Rams, but every time we see the Retro Rams go on offense, they try to keep it close to their card, keep the possession going, and eventually set things up on offense to get it past Dark. Speaking of Dark, at the midfield here, too, it's just deflecting everything away for the Rams.
Just the rotation from the Seahawks is fantastic, and I think what we need to see from the Rams here is some demos. I think we need to just take one person out of play for a second.
And that person should be Dark.
Wow, Sly again.
Wow, you talked about potential for MVP performance. Well, we have definitely seen that with this goal. Backflip to bait out the defense who were expecting like kind of an odd angle from Sly, but slowed it down enough to still go into the net and not miss towards the post. That is a hard play to pull off, even though it looks so simple.
Sure.
Halfway point of this one, too, Cup. Similar to the last game where we saw the Retro Rams. They've had such good looks on offense, and they haven't been completely shut out this series. They had a goal in game number 1 from Tricks, but apart from that, they have just been stuck, met every time, every length of the journey to get a goal by this defense of the Blue Seahawks. And you mentioned the demos. It's been such a struggle for them to find those demos because they haven't had much boost to work with. And what an insane save, but not for long with Dark following through.
Dark, coast to coast must have been. Just like I say, the rotations and the follow-ups from the Seahawks are just
immaculate. That's the word I would use for it, for sure.
Yeah.
2:01 on the clock now, Cup. The Retro Rams potentially having to pull off a full reverse sweep if they can't get 3 goals, and then one more in a potential overtime in the next minute and 50 seconds. From what we have seen, are we expecting some sort of resistance for the Retro Rams now?
I mean, I hope so, but it doesn't seem like the way that the Seahawks are able to hold the ball at midfield that the Rams are going to be able to do something in a minute and a half for this one. Or maybe they just want to challenge and they want to be down 3-0, and so they can come back and just do some
biding their time. They're powering up.
Yeah.
They want to be the true underdogs.
Is playing at their land right now.
I mean, Meliodas, I think it's from like 7 Deadly Sins, the anime reference that is, unless it's also like an ancient medieval king too. I could just be off base there as well, but regardless, you know, those kind of media are notorious for the power-ups when they're down. Like the protagonist is like, I didn't hear no bell and is ready to go for round 2, which hopefully we do see that from the Retro Rams, but so far it's been the Blue Seahawks show. The defense from Meliodas has been great.
Yeah, it really has. They're just shutting the Rams down every opportunity they get. An ultra instinct situation from the Rams here.
Or just like those Fallout VATs where you can just like lock in exactly where you need to score on the net.
Yes.
Oh, man. Need some sort of assistance on offense, to say the least, for the Retro Rams, because they've had some great shots. It's just the defense has been so strong every length of the field. Wherever they are on offense, on defense, midfield, it's been great to see for the Blue Seahawks. It's not the Retro Rams playing bad by any stretch of the means. It's just the Seahawks have been insane today.
Yeah, it's like I've been saying, it's just the rotation. It almost feels like they have an extra player on the field, just because there's always somebody in goal, but there's always somebody following up, and um, they're a tough team to beat right now
Yeah,
for the Rams.
exactly. Now they have to pull up a full reverse sweep, which means they need 4 games in a row. But the first journey for that, for the Retro Rams specifically, is to get that first goal. If they can get that first goal, they can get over that hurdle, which plagues a lot of teams that are out there that might not be finding exactly what they need to on offense. So that's going to be the biggest thing we'll be looking for, Cup, in this next game specifically. We saw the first goal in the series from them after TRZ0 scored early in game number 1. But apart from that, the defense, the rotations, everything we talked about, it feels like there's a 4th player on the field for the Blue Seahawks. They got to get past that. And demos, like you mentioned, is definitely the key for that.
Yeah, demos, follow-throughs, they're getting the setup opportunities. They're just getting stopped. So they just need to take that 4th and 5th player off the field that the Seahawks seem to have.
Oh, man. Well, I'm sure they're taking the full 60 seconds that they can to get into this next one, trying to get some words from their coach to motivate themselves to pull off this reverse sweep. But regardless, a 2nd place finish in this series would be nothing to scoff at because of how close they have kept it for the most part. The times that we did see those goals was because pop-offs from the players on the Blue Seahawks. So they've made the Blue Seahawks have to fight tooth and nail for the majority of the goals that they have gotten this series.
And there's a demo there. Couldn't
I'd
tell
like to see
who caused what.
Might have been both. Happens more often than you would think. Just a demo going both ways. If everyone's going supersonic, which is the fastest speed you can go in Rocket League, where you see like the trail right behind the Mercs tires there for a second, and like you see it here as well. But Tricks, mentioning them before, they were the one to get the first goal in the game for the Retro Rams. Trying to see what they can do here to keep this team alive in this series. Otherwise, it will be the Blue Seahawks with a sweep. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Too high. Oh, and that knocked it right down for a good bounce.
Good follow-up and a good challenge, too. So unfortunate as well because the defense, they didn't know exactly who to challenge on that play. Both went up. Both could have gone for it, but Dark had a better touch, and the defense was pulled out from the box. So they couldn't get the save afterwards, and TRZ0 set that all up for the side after they were expecting just a simple clear for the Retro Rams.
Yeah, and at one point during that last exchange, it looked like we may have seen Murder Caps deflect the ball accidentally off of its trajectory towards the goal there, and that kind of started the play to the other end.
And that's what happens sometimes once you're challenging the ball against your opponent. Sometimes if you're not feeling 100% confident, you just want to go for a simple challenge, which would be the 50-50. What a goal!
And there we
for
go.
Meliodas King!
We're tied up.
Perfect setup from Murder Caps. Merc into the Merchant of Meliodas King for that shot. Took some time since game number 1, but now we are tied yet again, and we need more where that came from, Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably puts a good amount of wind in their sails there, as long as they can stop this answer.
Oh! I didn't want to breathe on that one, Cup. I was holding my breath the entire time. Oh, so unfortunate, but a great setup from Sly. Crossed it in front of the goal box, and then almost Murder Caps ran out of boost while they were in the air trying to go for the challenge, and that just goes to show how ferocious the Blue Seahawks have been on offense today.
Yep, immediate answers. Let's see if the Rams can get an answer back.
They did get over that hurdle of that first goal that had plagued them in the last 2 games. They just need one more where that came from, but the demos the other direction are going to clear it wide open for Dark to finish this one, but that was crucial on the other side, as you could see with the rotation in. Dark with the touch, but it was TRZ0 who set that whole thing in motion.
Yeah, demo right in front of the goal there. It was just everything seemed perfectly timed. Pressure is definitely on now. Oh, there's still 3 minutes left, though.
True, true. It's felt like an eternity, though, here, Cup, on defense for the Retro Rams. They have had to stay alive as best they can on the field, but these demos are a detriment to their boost totals and trying to keep that boost control as well. You saw Trix Coley go for it and make sure that they could secure it, because that was the difficulty. We saw, I think it was Murdercaps try to get that earlier save. So now that they have the boost, they just got to get it out their side and fast.
So with the Merc van, what are you looking at as far as an advantage or disadvantage, and why is Merc
That's it.
There we go.
That's the advantage. You don't expect the Merc until it's right in front of your net, and we just had a beautiful setup though. That was mainly Melioda's king, but Murdercaps on the follow-up. And that's what we like to see.
That's a great setup.
Pretty much answered your question there as it was happening.
Apparently, I just need to talk about it, and it happens.
Yeah, the bigger hitbox, and the hitboxes don't do too much differently. There's like a plank hitbox, which is easier to dribble on top of your car that way. There's like a Batmobile that is for that people use, and the Dominus is another classic vehicle. The Merc, since it's more like boxy, I guess it's better for power hits depending on where you go for it, but it doesn't have any like true advantages or disadvantages. It's just, for some players, harder to read exactly where you're dribbling it on the nose of your car. But since it's kind of like so short the front of the car, it's also easy to just get those power shots afterwards. So that's definitely something to look at.
Murdercaps is definitely going for MVP for the Rams right now. He is all over it.
Woo. Goal, shot, assist, and 2 saves now as well. So putting up the stats for their team. Trix looking for something after that first goal to start off the series for this team. Need at least 2 more if they want to get their first game in this best of 7. Otherwise, with the current score, it would be the Blue Seahawks pulling out the victory.
1 minute warning. You can see a tie coming up. Still, the Rams still have momentum.
That they do. Plenty of chances still remaining for Murdercaps, but no, they didn't get that midfield boost. Instead, their teammate did, so they're going to have to go all the way back to their side, leaving Trix in no man's land in the Blue Seahawks half.
Just excellent control there off the wall to center the ball.
Less than 30 seconds remaining here, though. Cup, and it's going the other direction. No, TRZ0 could have cemented their victory there. They might just need to play keep away in these last 20 seconds now. Dark going for the challenge, got the boost away, starving them of their resources on the orange half, and Trix Coley, one final opportunity for them. Melioda's king pushed up a bit too much. They still have a chance that they could keep it up at 0 seconds, but it's not looking likely. The other direction it goes, still in the air, but it touches down. The Blue Seahawks do win the PlayVS High School Spring 2023 Florida FASA Finals. And there we go. Try saying that 10 times fast, because that's how fast the players on the Blue Seahawks played today.
What an excellent match. Congratulations to the Seahawks, but well done, Retro Rams. You didn't make it easy for them, for sure.
Not at all. I mean,
that was a great series.
Great series. Got to see all sorts of skill from both sides of the pitch. Everyone able to get a goal on the field on both sides too. Started with Trix for PBL, Retro Rams, and TRZO, and then Sly. Definitely him and Dark competing for that MVP. Dark at the end of it clutched up so well, but it was a whole team effort on both ends of the pitch, it felt like, Cup.
Yeah, it really was. It was great defense. They're just like rotation. Been saying it the whole night, and they've just been textbook example of how important that is and how to do it appropriately. They just were too much of a wall to get through.
Too powerful.
Too powerful.
Well, congrats again to Cape Coral High School, the Blue Seahawks winning that championship, and the runner-ups of Palm Beach Lakes High School with the PBL Retro Rams. That's all for us for Rock League. For now, there'll be some a little bit later with you, Cup, and some fellow faces here for PlayVS. But I hear there's Overwatch in store in a little bit, so that's all for me for today. We'll see you, Cup, later in a little bit, and we'll see you all on the next PlayVS stream in just a bit.
Bye.